Let me see here. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. But before we go another step further, before we take another iota, I got to say good morning to my brother. He acting up this morning. Good morning, my brother from another mother. The same father. Good morning, Sir Leonard.
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning.
Now you're laughing early this morning, man. I'm starting to worry about you,
No,
brother.
man, I'll be going through some headlines sometimes.
Oh, okay,
Or
okay.
something just be striking me funny.
Got you. Leonard, we got a topic
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about today, man, and it's a little different. It's a little bit different. I see a lot of commercials on TV, Leonard, and they have animals. Now. Before I say that, I got to preface that by saying this: I love animals, man. I don't want nobody coming to me saying he hate animals. He don't. I have animals, man. I got a dog downstairs right now, and that I take care of, man. Jesse is his name. Love my dog, man. I have dogs all my life. All kind, you name it, I've had it. Birds, fish, whatever it is, man. I've had. I even had a couple of which kind of thing? The one of the little ball hamsters. I've had a couple of hamsters. So I love animals. I'm not one that do not like animals. I absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, I absolutely love animals.
Man, you don't said that 100 times.
I just want to make sure that everybody understand what I'm saying, because I don't want them to get the wrong idea and think that I don't like animals, because I do. But my question, and good morning, Anna, how you doing?
Good morning.
My question is this, Leonard. Does America love animals more than they do the black and the brown man?
Man, I think, we had a conversation like that before. I think a lot of people really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just that we see so much effort behind the support groups for animals. I'm a big animal rights person.
Yes.
Animal rights fan.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was a veterinary technician as well, worked in a lot of animal clinics and everything. So it's not, I love animals too, but I don't compare them to human beings.
And that's good. That's good, man. That's powerful that you went there. That's powerful that you went there, man. Do you think some people could separate?
Well, I think that some people prefer the company of animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love to have an animal now, but I know the responsibility involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't have a dog or what have you. So I love certain efforts like saving endangered species and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different than human beings. It's not comparable. I know some people will say, well, that's just like my child. I can see you've never had a child before.
That's good. Good. Look at Anna. Look at Anna just waiting to jump on this.
I'm just, you know how some people say things, but some people just prefer the company of animals. There's a lot of money behind support groups and actions for animals.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah,
a lot more than they put into to people. I'm not even gonna say the black man, but actually people, because the homeless population is every city you go to, you have a homeless problem in a homeless population, and they're not putting the same effort into, or the same money or into trying to save these people and give them the proper housing and stuff like that, like they do the animals. I don't see the same. Anna, what do you say? Do you think America, and I love your hat, Anna, do you think America love? Yeah, I love your hat. Do you think America, some parts of America, love animals more than they do the black and the brown man?
Okay, so from what I heard, I didn't hear everything because, as you guys seen, it took me a second to get in. I'm running a little slow this morning. Anyhow, so Leonard, you were just like right on point until you said some people think that animals are part of the family. And then he said, obviously, you haven't had kids before. I feel totally different. My animals here in this house, and I might have mentioned, if I haven't said it before, I have 5 rescues. 5 rescues. And they're not like I adopted them, I paid all this money, I rescued these babies, okay? And to me, maybe not to every family member here, but to me, they are part of the family. This is like a drop I don't want to say where I live, but whoever does know me personally, they know that this is a drop off area for them. And I can't just picture leaving an animal out there. I am the same way with humans, though. I will give you food. I will give you, if need be, I've given shelter to people I didn't know from Adam. I just can't do that anymore due to circumstances and, jobs changing and stuff in this house. But, I understand where everybody's coming from, that yes, maybe you spend a lot of money and they don't on the homeless person. But if you look at a lot of the homeless people, they've got a companion, and it's usually a dog. I've seen one with a cat the other day on a leash. I was like, oh, how cool is that? Like, you got a cat, but look at Leonard rolling his eye. But it's true. So do I think some people, and I think what Leonard, I don't know if it was you or Leonard that was saying, the activists, that there's a lot of work being done for them.
Yes,
and then something that I think that people have to understand is when it comes, well, I don't know, are we talking about homelessness, or are we talking about the
I just threw the homeless in there because there was an example, but we're actually talking about the black and the brown man. Does America love animals? Do they put more effort into animals?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take all that back.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I still love my 5 rescues. I really do. No, we should never love. It's 2 different types of love, if that makes sense. The human love.
Okay, let's do this. Do you think they put more effort in saving the animals more than they do in saving the black and the brown man? Do they put more effort into that? Because I see commercials all the time. This animal, your $2.10 a day or something like that could help save this animal, and they have petitions, and you see that commercial over and over again. I've never seen a commercial like that where they're talking about saving. And again, I'm gonna go back to the homeless population just as an example. I've never seen that.
I need to take my medicine.
Well, see, part of it, when you said that was good. But part of it, I think, is mental health when it comes to the homeless. And then I'll start with, secondly, our black and brown men need to be. You're absolutely right, but isn't there for that human justice organizations, mental health counseling stations, and all of that maybe should be promoting more this type of help for our men? I think it's very important. I think it's a very big issue when they're getting shot by law enforcement. I think it's a very huge issue when we're losing them to the jail system at a very young age where they're not able to procreate. I think that is very important, and that's something that needs to be spoken about. So maybe the people that are promoting these dogs or cats or whatever, rescuing whatever animal, maybe they're putting more money into it. Maybe it's not that one matters more than the other. Does that make sense?
It does, and I love your heart and what you're saying. But I think I sit on let me go to Chrissy. Chrissy, what's on your heart? What do you think? Do you think America love animals more than they love the black and the brown man?
Good morning, Go family.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think America loves a slug in the ground more than they love black people. Our black and brown people. I know it is sad, but it's true. I look at the evidence. Like you were saying, now I do believe that in some instances, some white Americans think that we are animals and we are, property. That goes back to the slave thing.
Absolutely.
So, I do believe that even when they did have us as property, we wasn't well kept. We was beaten, we was raped, we was torn away from our families. Just as cattle would have been, but I mean more brutal. So I do believe in some aspects that the animals get more love than we ever will in a society, and that's I don't know if that's by design. I'm gonna say it is by design. You can argue with me, we can debate about it, but I do believe that America treats everyone better, even people overseas, and they condone it. Look at China. The way they're treating African American and Africans there. They're throwing people out of their houses. They're beating them. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things that's going on in our society that shows me that there is no love. Look at when the military came in; they wanted African Americans to fight in the war. And when they came home, look how they was treated. So it's evidence to show that America doesn't love us the way we love America.
Mm-hmm. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? Is there even or a fair change in the love that we have for America and the love America has for us, the black and the brown man?
Makes a great romance. But let me go back and address something that
I can't.
what Anna was talking about. I do believe animals are part of families. They're just not on the same level as human beings. Like she said, it's two different things. And I'm not into the this versus that. It is one, there are some people that, they have things that they're passionate about. Mm-hmm. And one of those things are about animals. Animals are pretty much subject to human beings. Mm-hmm. That's a big difference than being a human being. Mm-hmm. If anybody should understand that, black people should. Mm-hmm. Because before you didn't used to be a human being.
Right.
You weren't even considered a human being.
And then they gave you 1/3.
But using this as some type of sympathy seeking in narrative to me is disgusting. Mm-hmm. Because I would never compare another human being that way. Mm-hmm. So,
but see, my thing is, I don't think it's not a comparison like the way that you say. I don't think it's a comparison like that. It's just I want to know the heart of people and how do they feel and everybody have a different aspect. Everybody have it depends on whether you're on animal level or not. It depends on whether you have animals. Some people have never had an animal, have never had a pet, mm-hmm. and so they don't know the experience of having a pet. I've had animals.
It ain't nothing like having a kid.
There's nothing like having a kid. It is not. but Leonard, on other side of the coin, you cannot tell me, and I've seen them myself personally. People say that the animals, those are my children. They don't have kids. They say those are my children. And if you try to do anything to those animals, if you try to do anything to those animals, they're gonna step to you and they're gonna attack you, beat you, and do anything they can do to stop you from hurting that animal, because in their mind, they think that that's my children. Those are my children. See, Anna know what I'm talking about. I'm sure
it's a comforting thing.
They can't claim on their taxes. They can't claim on their income taxes.
Right, and it's a comforting thing to say. Mm-hmm. But that's all it is. It's comforting.
Mm-hmm. But you can't tell them any different.
I wouldn't try to tell them any different.
In a person's mind, see, so a man thinketh, so is he. So in their mind, they think that these are my children. They can have 2 or 3 or whatever.
That's fine, and they can just be thought of as a crazy person. That's all.
I'm not gonna call them that. But what I will say is the reality. Their reality. I can't speak. Their reality is those are my children. That's their reality, and I can speak against reality. Go ahead, Christy.
Tell them to put them on their taxes and see how much children they're gonna be.
Some have tried.
They ain't sitting at the dining room table.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I'm just saying. I'm a person that I'm really into animals.
Yes, they are.
Taking care of animals. That was my profession. But I mean, to compare the care of an animal to a human being is a little strange.
Mm-hmm. And it could be to the individual. It could be, but I'm telling you, and Anna, you can vouch for this. In some situations, those animals sit at the table and eat dinner with the family.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey.
I did that.
I'm
put that in the because truth of the matter, Leonard, yes, they do.
Well, you get put out of a black house for that.
Huh?
Black folk won't let you be in their house if you do stuff like that.
It was some. I've seen some black people, Leonard. Yes.
What?
I've seen.
Okay.
Okay. But as I'm gonna tell you,
okay.
I'm gonna tell you, in the hood, Leonard, you said, well, you know you said.
I don't even want to know what he's thinking in his head, because
in the hood,
I'm right here.
The cat sit right there at the table.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I have friends that would not eat at anybody's house that have animals because that fur would get in your kitchen. Mm-hmm. And I had a little fur friend. Once upon a time, and he was. I mean, I love. His name was Prince. Somebody told me he was a Jack Terrier. He was a Jack Terrier mixed with a Yorkie, and he was an inside dog. But my dog had limits. He could not go in the kitchen. He could not sit at the table. I mean, it was limits that he had because he is an animal. And I would tell my kids, you know, it's certain things that you can't do. It crosses the line. And I loved him, and he was my. You know, I cried when he was away, and I had him chipped, so I called the police like he was missing for real.
Like
And they told me that, but it wasn't that, but the police told me quick, ma'am, that's a dog, and ain't nothing we not gonna go search for no dog for you. So I mean, we just have to really understand that an animal is just that. It's an animal, and its instincts are, you know, that of an animal. So it has no business sitting at no table with this. Is that's just nasty. I'm with Leonard. I'm with Leonard on that one. But I understand people do love their dogs. I do understand people love animals and would treat them as their children. But in your mind, you have to know that they're not really your children, because you, like I said, you can't put them on your taxes. You cannot get no stimulus check from them. You can't.
They don't care.
Let me say this to you. Do you think everybody have the capacity in their mind to separate? That they're not there?
Yes.
Do you think everybody have a capacity in their mind to separate? Because some people really believe. I've been to people's houses, and needless to say, we have a dog here. And I'll train him to the point, you know, if even if you venture toward the kitchen, I said, get out the kitchen. And he know to turn and go on about his business. He ain't going in the kitchen. Don't go in the kitchen. I've seen people, Christy, that I go to their house and we're supposed to be having dinner or whatever, and they'll have their cat run across the counter.
I wouldn't be eating. Why are you eating there?
I didn't.
Why are you there?
All of a sudden, you don't know until you see it. You don't know until you see it. You don't,
right.
And when you're there and you see it, and then you're like, hold on, wait a minute. Now, did that cat just run across the counter? Were you preparing my food? All of a sudden, I'm full. I'm not hungry no more. I'm good. Give me some water. You know, in a bottle. Give me a bottle.
I don't even want. Oh, I'm saying I wouldn't even want the bottle because it might rub up against the bottle of water.
Give me a.
But yeah, I think everybody have the ability to separate, because like I said, when you filling out your income taxes, you don't write that animal down as no dependent. When you do certain things, you know that it's not a child. You in your mind. Now, whether you treat it like that, that's fine. That's fine. You can treat them like your child, and you can consider them as your child. But in your mind, you know that's an animal, and it's separate.
But Christy, some have tried to eat. Truth of the matter, some have tried to claim them on their taxes. Some have tried.
And when it comes to all that stuff, I'm okay with you loving your animal and providing for your animal and all that. However, the question was completely different. Where you were comparing animals to human beings, specifically black ones.
You talking about black people?
I don't think he's comparing them as like the things. I think he's just trying to say that does America as a whole show more love and affection to animals than they do for us as a people?
Absolutely.
And I think the question is valid because we were considered at one time property and animals. So, you know.
Well, it's just America don't love nobody.
So you know
they love that greenback.
Exactly. Hold on, let me do this. We have a caller, y'all. Caller, what's your name? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Brother Gerald X.
What's up, Gerald?
Hey, Gerald.
Honorable Mr. Farrakhan and Nation of Islam. How you guys doing this morning?
Brother, assalamu alaikum, brother. How you doing?
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, feeling well.
Good deal. We're asking a question this morning, brother. Does America, and I really want to hear your heart on this, brother. Don't pull no punches. Tell me what's on your heart. Do America love animals more than they love the black and the brown man?
I believe most of them do, because we're taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that a Jewish rabbi came up with a lie that all black people come from the curse of Ham. And then if you study ancient Christianity also taught that black people were cursed. And then you have the Aryan nation who came up with a doctrine called the pre-Adamite doctrine, and they teach that Adam's seed was cursed with black skin because he married a black woman. So you got all of these religions in the past that came up with stories to say that black people were cursed. So if a person has been taught all their life that a certain people is cursed, then they're going to treat everything else better than that person, because that's a lie that's been put in their head. And see, a lot of our people don't know about those theologies that were taught about black people. And we were taught that the early Caucasians said that black people have no history. They say our history started when the white man came to Africa and Christianized us with Christianity. But before that, we had no history.
Joel, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Joel, let me ask you a question, brother. And I'm based on what you're saying, because I too have heard that. But if that be the case, if we had no history and our history began when they went over to Africa to get us, how could they get somebody that don't exist?
Exactly. Exactly. But see, those are the lies that they tell. Because a lot of our people, during slavery, we couldn't read for 300 years.
No.
So after they finally,
if we could not read, I'm sorry to cut you off, brother, but if we could not read, because I love conversations like this. If we could not read, not that we could not read their dialect. We could read ours.
Exactly. We couldn't read their language, or we couldn't write in their language. So we already had our own writing system in Africa. The Phoenician alphabet, we had our own language. And every time they go dig up these bones and skulls, they always find bones of ancient black men and ancient black women. And we are the architects of the whole world. We were the ones that created the pyramids, and they still trying to figure out how did we create those pyramids. And in fact, our ancestors buried ancient cities under the water because they didn't want the white man to take everything. They knew that they would take some. So we created civilizations, cities, and we are taught by Elijah Muhammad that the black man is God, and the first God separated himself from the triple darkness out of space. I mean, so black people are not cursed. We're the builders of the whole world. We design the White House and all of the buildings that you live in and work out of today. The stop signs and the traffic lights and all these inventions that they got credit for, it was our ancestors who designed and built all of those things. So we're not a cursed people, but they had to make it look that way, because it was prophesied that they would rule for 6,000 years. And that's what a lot of people don't know.
Good deal.
But when that time is up, we're going to rise again. You can kind of see us rising again slowly but surely. So it's like they had to create situations to make it look like we were cursed when they brought us over here and stripped us of everything. And then they flooded our ghettos with blue magic and heroin and crack in the late 60s and stuff like that. So they had to create a situation to make it look like we are actually a cursed people and we're not.
Get it. Hold on, Joel. Hold on, Joel. Don't go anywhere. I want to keep the conversation circling. Stay right there, brother. Don't go anywhere. Sherry, what's on your heart? Does America love animals more than they love the black man? Sherry, what do you say to that?
Hey, Sherry.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Of course they do, because it's been shown over and over again. Like, I sit back and watch all these commercials, and they talking about dogs being left outside and mistreated and send money in to help them, and I'm just like, but wait a minute. Why are we? And then it's like they'll get a helicopter and they'll stop traffic on the interstate to save a itty bitty old puppy, but yet they'll gun us down, shoot us down like dogs in the street, and we don't even care. Put your hands up. You don't put them up fast enough, they shoot you. So, but it's like I'm not a pet lover, and I'm not saying I will hurt an animal, intentionally hurt an animal, but it's just the point that some people will take care of an animal better than they take care of a human being. I'm like, we're paying taxes, we're pouring into society. How is it that we are at the bottom of the food chain and dogs and animals are above that? And they said, well, this is just like my kid. No, because you can't reason with an animal. You can reason with an adult. And a lot of dogs are attacking children and everything, and they have to put them down. So it's like, how is that you consider that as your child when you can't reason with that child?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand. I see so much stuff on news, and it's like what really irritates me, like I was saying, the commercials are talking about send money in to save the animals being mistreated. Human beings are mistreated. We are being mistreated on a daily basis, and don't nobody care. And when we say all Black lives matter, they say, what about these? Like, it's not that we're trying to say that everybody else doesn't matter. It's just the fact that we are considered as an outside group, and we don't get the love that other people get. We get treated like crap. And people are, and they say, well, it's racism. How is it racism when you don't know it's racism, and we telling you it's racism, and it's flat out in your face, and you can't see it? That means you're racist because you don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, and then when you ask a person to distinguish between the two situations, how is it that all these people went down, they got off of crimes, but this Black person did 20 years? Explain that to me. Well, they did this. What did they blink wrong? So that one blinking wrong gave them 20 years. Another person just sit there and held their face together. I mean, explain it to me. They can't because it's racism. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care.
Good deal. Good deal. Anna, what's on your heart right now? Because I know, Anna, you love animals just like I do. So what's on your heart right now?
I do. And see, this is my response to things, and you just have to get to know me, is not always popular. But I'm going to say what I feel. I myself have taken a homeless person into my household. Okay, they were a brown color or of black color, and to me that doesn't matter. Anyway, they were of our color. I took him in my house. I gave him an opportunity. To go ahead.
Hold on for a second. Hey, Gerald, can you mute your line for me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you mute your line for me? Got some background noise coming from your line. Mute your line till I call on you, please.
Okay.
You want me to continue?
Yes, please.
And so I've given them the opportunity to get on their feet and move on. A lot of people won't do that. Let's start there. So my question is, we're asking ourselves, does America love animals more than dogs? Because I've as well taken dog rescues in my home, whom I normally would have never adopted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question to the listening audience and to the panel is, would you do the same for a human? While we're sitting here saying that all these lives matter, because I know I have, and I know I would. Like I said, circumstances have changed a little bit in my household where I can't do certain things like I used to, where I've actually given them and cleaned them up and given them the opportunity. Nobody just does that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So my question is to everybody, are you willing to do the same thing for that human, a human being? Now we're talking about a human, a soul, right? That you would do for that animal. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Leonard, want to answer that?
I mean, I don't have no answer really for it. Like I say, to me, it's two extreme levels. Mm-hmm. So, what
would it be safe to say, Leonard, would it be safe to say that you would invite a human into your house before you would invite an animal into your house? Would it be safe to say that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mm-hmm. Leonard don't want nobody at his house. He ain't gonna let no dog or no person in his house.
I mean, I think they're human beings. They have their own wishes, hopes, and dreams, and what makes you think that I could just do with them as I please because they're somehow destitute?
Mm-hmm. No, if they came to you and they say, I need somewhere to stay, brother. I'm in a bad situation. Could I stay with you give me 2?
No.
Not to get myself together.
No, absolutely not.
I was in a bad situation. I was a homeless shelter.
I'll take you to a hotel or what have you. I've had people I know stay with me or what have you, but a stranger off the street should not be able to walk into anyone's home and stay.
Mm-hmm. But do you agree that people would go and save an animal that they don't know and allow that animal to come in their house, and they don't know the animal, they don't know whether the animal, they don't know nothing about the animal?
You can control the animal.
Mm. You can't control how a person acts in your house?
No.
Mm.
No.
I don't know if I agree with that, Leonard.
Well, I mean, you don't have to agree with it.
Because my thing is this right here.
Leave your door open at night.
If somebody come into my house, I'm not gonna let them come into my house and be willy-nilly and do what they want to do. This is not.
I mean, if you let them into your house, I mean, what you doing? Following them around, watching them every 5? What are you doing?
It has nothing to do with following around. It's gonna be established when they come in my house. This is what it is. It's gonna be established. You know,
ask women how well that works when they let a man come stay with
them. It does not work. It doesn't work. You have to be careful.
Put them out.
I can't.
You got to be. You got to be. Now look, I'm a strong believer in helping people, but I ain't finna let no stranger in my house. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go to the shelter, a hotel, something.
That's what I'm saying. I went to a shelter.
Hold on.
I went to shelter. I was in a bad situation.
Hold on. My thing is this right here, Leonard. I can't, and ladies, I want to hear what you say, but let me I can't speak, me personally, I can't speak for a woman experience, but I can't speak for my experience. And if somebody come into my house, we talking about me right now, there's going to be certain guidelines, stipulations, the guidelines that they're going to have to adhere to while they're in my house. While they're in my, there's certain things they got to deal with.
Like I tell people all the time, the law don't stop you from from committing crime.
That's fine, that's good, but see, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. We're talking about two different coins here. I'm saying when somebody come into my house. When somebody, hey, Gerald. Hey, Gerald. Gerald, unmute your phone, brother.
Wake up
and go to sleep. All right, Sherry.
Okay, we got people trying to call in, but we're having issues with the phone line. Okay, go ahead, Chris. You had something on your heart, and Sherry will come to you next. Sorry about that, lady.
Yes, Raheem. Let me tell you something. You cannot control a human being. If you let a stranger in your house, I don't care how strong, you're gonna end up having to fight or shoot that man if he gets out the way. And that's just something that you're gonna open your family up to be hurt. You know, I mean, let's be honest. Some homeless people do have mental issues. You don't know if they're schizophrenic. You don't know if they bipolar. You don't know what they got going on. You don't know if they're on drugs. You don't know if they're finna come and steal your house. And it was just like, I can tell you in Texas, it was a man and woman who drove in their house, and this man knocked on that door and they opened. He came and tied the man up and raped his wife and killed his kids. So you have to be careful in this day and time about who you let in your house, both male and female, because just like they raping women, they raping men. So you can't just be all that trusting, but you can be to the point, like, if you need some help, my brother, I know some places you can go, because that happened to me. It's a lady that came and she was very homeless. She had nowhere to go. She had no money. She had on some clothes that was skimpy. And what we did, we got her a hotel room. We applied for her some medical assistance, and come to find out that she came from up north in Michigan and had a son that had a whole lot of money that she ran away from because she's schizophrenic. So, and she had a car. You have to be careful when you see somebody homeless, because you don't know the situation.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Anna, what's on your heart? Sherry? Oh, hold on. I said I'll come to Sherry next. Sherry, what's on your heart?
Well, I was homeless and I didn't ask for anybody to go stay with. People offered, was like, you can come stay with me for a couple of days or whatever. I was like, what is a couple of days gonna do? I was looking for a homeless shelter for me and my girls to go to. I stayed in 2 homeless shelters and I stayed in transitional housing. So with that being said, is that no one was afraid of me doing anything, which is the fact that I had to step out there and get back on my feet on my own. I had the mental will to do it and to make it. So, I mean, it's just like, and then now into letting somebody come into my house, I could never do that because I stay here by myself with my kids. Their safety, our safety is my top priority. Now, if you're in need, I can help you. I can probably, pay for a couple of nights for you at a hotel room. But other than that, and I can give you some money for groceries, but other than that or whatever, I can't help you. My first priority is my kids. If you come in my house and you want to clown, I have a bat and I have a machete.
A bat and a machete.
Yes.
Baby, I got me a gun. I'm gonna shoot you.
Oh, I'm gonna get one of those one day. I just, I have a nervous condition.
such violence. We have a couple of
I'm from Detroit.
Hold on. We got a couple of callers. I think Curtis is with us. Curtis, good morning. How you doing, sir?
Hey, morning, Roger. Morning.
What up, cuz?
Kurt,
good morning, Kurt.
We're asking a question this morning, Curtis. We're asking a question. We're asking a question this morning. Curtis, listen. Does America love animals more than they love the black man? Does America love animals more than they love the black man and the black and brown man? What do you say to that?
678-381-1973.
Huh?
I said, well, the proof is in the pudding, man. You know what? I'm not even going to comment on it from a personal perspective. Look at what you see. You know, the behavior that you see is the behavior that you get. You know, you still got folks that I just read some things the other day. You still got folks that's like hating on Michael Vick. Man, that was what, almost 10 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't be a sports announcer. Like, you know, it's funny to me how, you know, we supposed to be a forgiving people. We're supposed to be a justice to serve type of society. Okay, if you get caught doing something, you serve your time, you come on home, you okay, boom. But man, I mean, come on, man. You know, you got cats that, you know, you got some cats that 20 years behind a dog on the police dog died. Like, are you kidding me? You know, while all at the same time, you know, inhumanely even treating the animals to get them trained up. You know, I heard some of the things that the police academy, you know, to make them be able to slip out like cocaine drugs, man, have fun, be at it. The dog. You know, so, you know, I mean, I ain't going to, you know, speak like it's not a need, but come on, man. Come on. You got people got insurance on their dogs and everything.
Wow.
Dog got a health care plan.
Wow.
You hear me?
Yes, they do.
I get that you love your animals. You know, I can get that. You know what I mean? I'm a compassionate parent like that. You know what I mean? Like I love animals too. But you know, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, Raheem.
Good day. Let's keep this thing going. We have Donald with us as well. Donald, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Hey, doing good. Donald, you
Good
laughing
morning. Donald Tucson.
Good morning.
Donald,
Mr. Tucson.
let me ask you this, Donald. Does America love animals more than they love the black and the brown man? What do you say to that?
Do you feel love?
Nope.
How you feel? I'm sorry. I know you don't want to ask the questions.
No, that's good. That's good.
Come on, man. You went where you had that thing. Because look, I used to work at this portable building place. They used to, well, they actually was addition, and they built portable buildings, and they built a 2 10 by 12 buildings, and they installed air conditioning, and they put flooring in it and everything. And we got to the house, and we set it in a certain place in the backyard, and we found out it was for the man's dogs.
They got him a house, bought him a house.
Each dog, they couldn't stay in the same house.
Wow.
One for each dog.
And how many dogs did he have?
Two. Two.
Wow.
Kick you kick me and then kick a dog and see what happens. So do you feel love?
So you think people will react faster to kicking a dog than it would kicking you?
Man, you're gonna get 12 years behind kicking a dog. I'm just telling you.
Gerald, what's on your heart, Gerald?
Kick me, the president will congratulate you. So there was good people on both sides.
Okay. Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Leonard? Oh, hold on.
Right. I took the mute off.
Okay.
That perspective, it's not comparative to me, so I'm just listening. Like I say, I have worked for people who have paid me to prepare meals for their animals. I mean, you wouldn't believe it,
Wow.
So I mean, that's what I used to do for people. I used to take care of their animals,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to work in kennels and all types of stuff. But it is a big difference, and I really wish I knew what it would feel like to even care whether or not America loved me or not, because I never cared. I never am concerned with that part of, like Gil Scott Heron used to say, America ain't never showed me no love. So I mean, that's not something I don't desire it or what have you. Well, does Anna love me more than she love her dog?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeking that type of attention from Anna.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's Anna's dog. I'm just a dude she met.
Mm-hmm.
Her dog, she's raised as a family. I mean, that's her thing. I don't sit around and say she probably loved me more than the dog. That's a little strange to compare the two. And I think black people need to stop doing that.
Okay, but my thing is the reality of the situation. Gerald, his line is still open. Gerald, are you still with us? Unmute your phone.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, Gerald, do you see the? Can you see the realization of what we're talking about with America loving animals more than they love the black and the brown man? Can you see the realization in that?
Well, there's a history of when we actually dropped the Caucasians off into the hills of Europe. They were there for 2,000 years, and the only friend that they had was a dog. Mm-hmm. So the theory that a dog is a man's best friend, they've always, had a special type of love for those animals. Mm-hmm. And then if you study the Constitution, blacks and Latinos and Native Americans, we were not considered as humans. Mm-hmm. We were considered as 3/5 of the humans. So when it says we are the people and for the people, we're not included in the we. Mm-hmm. That's only talking about them. So it's a lot of secrets and a lot of coding, a lot of semantics, and languages that a lot of us don't understand. So we've always been looked as an inferior people. Mm-hmm. And of course, we can't blame the animals for it. Yeah. I mean, if we love animals, we love animals. Yeah. But, unfortunately, the powers that be has planted a seed in everybody's head that they're the superior and we're the inferior. Mm-hmm. And we're the beast of the ego. So that's what we got going on. It's a lot of stuff that we can't see. And let's study history, not the stuff that's taught in public schools. That's not real history. Once we study the real history, it'll make more sense to us on why some people love their animals more than they love human beings. And those are one of the reasons. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Christy, what's on your heart?
We are family. Hey, okay. So look, yeah. Look, I'm like Leonard, America has never loved us, and once we get to the point of where we stop seeking their love and approval and we stop worrying about what they have and start taking care of ourselves and our own people, we'll come out better. And when you start talking like that, that's when they want to say, oh, you believe in segregation or you racist. But no, I believe in taking care of my people. If you have a love for your people, then that's great. If you have love for animals, that's good. But in all the reality, we do know that America would never love us because we're a reminder of kings and queens that they could never conquer, that they could never destroy because they tried to destroy us and couldn't.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Christy froze. I'm gonna go to Sherry. Sherry, what's on your heart right now?
We are one.
But at the end of the day, it's just like Maya Angelou say.
Christy, you froze and you came right back, Christy. Hold on for a minute, Christy. Go ahead, Sherry.
We love ourselves.
Okay.
That's called technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Yep, exactly. Go ahead, Sherry.
I just want to say we are all one, but it puzzles me It puzzles me when we look at so much stuff. And then when somebody brought up the Michael Vick thing, I think it was Kurt. When is that gonna be over with? When you can say he's paid his debt to society? When are you gonna say, okay, it's fine? Can he get past that? Why is it that we do something, it will always follow us? Our record. You go to jail, you pay your debt to society, but you get out and can't get a job. So that's why a lot of people going back to school. They're trying to make their own way. They're trying to start businesses and everything. But it's amazing to me. It just and it's like I'm still doing my own, so I'm not worried about that. And people need to change their mentality. Talking about the man won't let me this. The man won't let you have it. Then go out and get it. Take what you
Come on now.
want. Take it. Like this man, I want this. Not take it legally, like steal it. That means go out there, get you an education. They have grant money out there. Do your research, because I'm gonna do my research, and go get that money so you can get what you want. But I mean, it's just the fact. Stop saying the man is keeping me down. The man is keeping you down because you still stuck in that slave mentality. Wake up, get you a cup of coffee, regroup, and go get that paper. Holla.
She talking about getting Leonard.
Right.
She talking about hold on, lady. She talking about breaking out the Uzis and bazookas and going and taking back. That's what
No, I'm just saying we are one.
Sherry.
Yes. I have another point. One more small point. Itty one.
Sherry. Go ahead, Leonard.
Oh, what now?
She talking about going out there, taking it by force, getting the bazooka, getting the all the stuff that she got and all the ammunition, and go out there and take it. Take it.
I support Sherry in that.
Take it by force.
You trying to get everybody locked up, man.
Wait, why would I get you? I mean, why would I get you like locked up, man? You know what?
Get everybody in jail. Now you know we got a huge prison population already. Why are you trying to increase the population, man?
Man, look, if you get locked up, that's on you, cuz. I mean,
that's all robbery.
I miss the locked up part. When did she get locked up? Why would she get locked up?
If you're going out there talking about taking people's property and taking it by force, that's called robbery.
I did not say that.
She didn't say that, Raheem.
You take it by force. Go out there and take it by force.
You must.
You are taking my words and you're twisted it.
Sherry.
As you.
That's why we in the prison system now.
But that is one thing that I wanted to comment on is that one, if you look at it, because I just think of things and how they come together. That whole love seeking thing is always a bad thing to me. Okay, so
everybody want to be loved, though, Leonard.
Well, one, but that's not a positive, great thing sometimes because we have that's how women wind up abused and everything else and misused because of this uncontrollable desire to be loved by any and everything. I don't need the devil to love me.
That's right.
So I mean that doesn't
the devil don't have any love anyway.
Well, that's what evil people are. They don't. So like I said, I participate in I did a lot of functions and fundraisers and things like that with animals, but never do I equate it with my work with people.
Absolutely.
Because it's a completely different thing. And I think sometimes we get carried away, but yes, it is true that some people didn't value before, but I'm not waiting on you to do that for me.
Good deal. We got another caller from the 978 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from? 978 area code. You there?
Yes. Hi, it's Betsy.
Betsy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. We're asking the question: Does America love animals more than they love the black and the brown man? What do you say to that?
Maybe America does, but I don't. I for sure. I mean, I love animals. Don't get me wrong.
No, she don't.
I don't have any pets at home. I got a black man at home though.
How you get rid of those? I want one.
I like her.
I want one. My hand raised. I want one.
This is my
Can I have one?
best
Me,
friend.
me,
I
me.
love Sadie.
You know me, Anna.
Wow. But best, I'm gonna tell you something. Anna said that you don't like animals.
It's not that I don't like animals. I like animals. I love animals.
How many animals?
I just,
How many animals, Bessie, have you went out there and got for yourself?
I don't have any animals. I got kids at home.
In your whole life, in your whole life, how many animals have you went and got?
Kids or animals?
Oh,
How many animals am I got?
how many in your whole life? How many times have you went out there and got an animal, got a pet?
Oh, how many animals have I had before?
Uh-huh.
I've had a dog, Scooby, a bird, and I think that's it.
Betsy.
No, I've had 2 dogs.
Hey, Betsy.
I've had 2 dogs and a bird.
2 dogs and a bird. Okay. Okay, that's good.
Betsy, can you do me a favor? Can you tell the listening audience what's most important?
Anna.
What's most important to you? Is it the animal?
What's more important to me?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Yes.
Yes, lady.
Huh?
Which one is more important, either the man or the dog or the pet?
Yes.
The man.
Hey. Hey.
That's my kind of girl there.
Now hang on. I think he's about 6'3". Her 6'3", tall, funny as can be because I've had the pleasure to meet him.
Anna, you kind of low. Your volume is kind of low.
I've had the pleasure to meet him. Her 6'3". Can you guys hear me better?
No, it's still low. We can hear you. No, go ahead.
Her 6'3", tall, big guy. He's really funny. I'm not going to say his name on air because she might not want me to. But she's got herself a wonderful black man, and congratulations to you, girl. I love you.
Good deal.
You better not share his name. Then when it be in that DM the way you described him.
Let me go. Lord, hey Gerald, you with us?
Yeah.
Gerald, what's on your heart right now, man? These ladies done took this conversation a whole different direction. They talking about love, interests, and all kind of man. They look here. They done took the steering wheel. I'm trying to get it back, brother. They took the steering wheel from me.
Ay, caramba.
I think.
Exactly. But what's
Well,
mm-hmm.
what I can say is I agree with the sister that said, we have to take it by force. Of course, the scriptures say that the kingdom of heaven take us by force. Of course, that's not with guns or anything like that. But we have education that we can go get. Ain't nobody stopping us from getting our education.
But Gerald, let me ask you a question. How you gonna take it? How you gonna take it?
Get our education,
hey, Gerald,
we put our money back into our own community.
Gerald, can you hear me?
And one thing that we got to do is I'm sorry.
Hey, Gerald, let me ask you this. Both of y'all saying take it by force, but then you say don't take it by force. They're not gonna give it to us, man. We've been trying to get it for 400 years.
Okay, take it by force really means that sometimes we have the tendency, I can't do that. The system got me down. But we can do that if we put our mind to it. We can break those barriers that people say we can't break. We can get that degree that we said we can't get if we put our mind to it. We create our own heaven and our own hell.
Mm-hmm.
We can do we're not slaves anymore physically with the chains wrapped around our ankles. Now it's more of a mental slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to break out of that mental slavery, and we have to believe that we can accomplish whatever we want to accomplish. So we can get our degrees. We can put our money back into our own community. We got to bring that village back, because when I was growing up in the 70s, if one family didn't have something, the whole village made sure they had it.
Mm-hmm.
If a young girl was pregnant, the mothers of the community helped her rear that child. Same thing with a young man who needed guidance. The village turned into the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to bring that village back, and we gotta take our education. We gotta get that. We gotta start our own businesses and work for self. Just like all other nations are doing. We can do that. That's the time that we in now, and that's what it means when it says take it by force.
Do you remember Gerald?
Do
you remember Gerald? Malcolm said years ago. Malcolm said that how can we expect people that don't like our children to teach our children?
Exactly. If they don't treat you right, they're not going to teach you right.
Yes, exactly.
That's why it's so important for us to know our history. We're not getting that in public schools.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting their history. George Washington never told a lie and all types of stuff like that.
That's a lie.
That's not our true history.
Mm-hmm. That's a lie.
We got to read books like, Message to the Black Man, and it's a whole lot of books out here that's written by our people that has the truth in it about us.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to just get more educated on reading those books that are out there for us.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
We're beautiful people.
Absolutely.
We're strong people. I wouldn't trade being black or brown for nothing in the world.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I was gonna make a comment, but I kept forgetting. Now, there are some animals I trust more than some people.
Chrissy and Sherry, their mouth open up. Go ahead. Explain that.
For the very simple fact, animals are very loyal.
Mm-hmm.
People are not.
Mm-hmm.
Animals don't come up with excuses about why they ain't gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
Animals do what you teach them to do. They do what's commanded to do. They protect you or whatever. They're very affectionate and they feel a role in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
But in no way are they comparable to human beings.
Mm-hmm.
That's a completely different mindset. And one, it is a lot healthier for Black people to stop that slave mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You can't continue to use white people talking points and expect to get better.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Quit talking the way they talk.
Mm-hmm.
And acting the way they act, and you will loosen that grip on you that makes it always an issue of you against them, or whether or not they're concerned about you or love you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Life is bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Much bigger than that. And that's why I like Sherry's mentality. All she went through and things like that, she shouldn't tolerate anybody doing anything less than the best that they can do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that means taking control of your destiny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not continue to wallowing in low self-esteem and all these things due to slavery. Mm-hmm. Isn't it great that slavery is a history lesson as opposed to a noun lesson? Mm-hmm. Because one, when we were talking about, there are some animals with me that when it's in a rough situation, I'd rather have that animal because I can trust that animal.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, when people were talking about, it was a big issue about the dog thing and Michael Vick and everything, that's when you seen it on the stage. And it was great because all the memes and everything was about what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But that is going to be what the Black response collectively probably going to be about everything forever.
Do you think Michael Vick will ever be forgiven by certain?
Well, I forgave him from day one. I didn't ever have a big issue with it. Like some people, we fought dogs all my entire childhood. So I was like, really? But we just had rules and laws made regarding shooting people's animals.
Mm-hmm.
These are loved ones in people's families. They're not human beings, but they're loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, from that point of view, you would have to consider that aspect of people loving that pet.
Mm-hmm.
But we as Black people have to stop downgrading our existence.
Mm-hmm.
All our conversation must be progressive conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you'll get caught up in what do you think about yourself? You don't tell me everything about what white folk think, and ain't nobody sitting here white.
Mm-hmm.
So what we talking about them for?
Mm-hmm. That's good. Sherry, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I have come to the realization that it's gonna be a long time before we get any type of equal anything.
Wait.
So that's why I say if you want it, go get it.
Stop waiting and start taking.
That's what I'm saying.
Leonard,
you want to go get it. Go get it.
You get them a
like
beat.
that's like they said, go get your blessings because it's your time. It's your time.
That song that
yes.
hold on. that song does not mean going out there and getting your behind locked up for 10 or 20 years.
I'm not gonna get locked up because I'm too pretty to go to jail. Excuse me. No, 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 no. I'm too pretty. I'm too pretty.
Put that gun down, then, girl. You better put that gun down.
I don't have a gun. I have a machete in the bed. But I was thinking about something I forgot about.
Okay, hold on. I'll come back to you, Sherry. Hold on for Kurt. What's on your heart? I'll come back to you, Sherry. Kurt, what's on your heart?
You know, every human being is entitled to their own opinion. You know, when you consider slavery, man, I just want folks to stop thinking that it's over, because it ain't.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a two-pronged form of slavery now. You got institutional slavery, and then you got the slavery of the mind. One of the greatest things I ever read was actually in a film. It said the greatest oppressor is the mind of the oppressed, which is true. We asking folks to take up arms or to go and get it, which is something that we should do. But we can't lose sight of the fact that when folks get up to go and get it, you done move the goalposts.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a form of institutional slavery. You see what I'm saying? Or, okay, when we started playing this game, I had 4 downs to get a first down. Now, all of a sudden, in the middle of the game where I'm moving the ball and I'm getting a first down, now if you change the rule and say, no, you don't have 4 downs no more, you got 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we have to be able to acknowledge that. You understand what I'm saying? And let me just say something that really made a lot of sense. Stop acting like that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes so much sense. I turn it off when I see this young, extremely, how can I put this, man? My grandma used to say, sometimes people can be so smart that they're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
We got a young black sister out here named Candace Owens, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is spewing so much ignorance with smart verbiage that people falling for that. You know, listen, at the end of the day, if you want a culture and or group of people to move from being quote unquote thuggish or from being anything less than proper human beings, then from conception, there needs to be a public trust that says these group of people or this group of people have done more positively to affect the given culture and or society than negative things.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I saying? All I'm saying is this. Stop the institutional racism. Stop moving the goalposts on black and brown folk. That's number 1. Number 2, stand up on the morals and values for what you supposedly represent. If you're going to be a Christian, then you need to stand up on the moral values of Jesus Christ. That's just it. At the end of the day, we ain't going to sugarcoat it. We ain't going to run around it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 3, this is the last one, Raheem. Reinforce the accomplishments of black folk. I can teach my sons, you can teach your daughters, everybody on this panel can teach their kids the truth about the black experience in America. If that truth is not reinforced in public society, what you create is you create what is called the triangulation, which is something that kids are naturally born with. Humans are naturally born with the idea of triangulation. If I can't get it here, I'll go over here and get it. Mm-hmm. If I hear one thing over here and I hear something else over here, and what I hear over there is more supported, then I'll believe that. Create a triangulation. So what am I saying?
Wrap it up, Kurt.
Teach the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Teach the truth.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Betsy. Betsy, what's on your heart right now? Betsy, you there? Say it, Sherry.
Wake up and go to sleep.
Anna, what's on your heart?
And so as you guys were talking about this, I was thinking about a incident right before I left Florida and moved here to this beautiful state. when in Puerto Rico, and I'm not sure if you guys are very familiar with it, cockfighting is very it's a sport. It's very, and I didn't say bad word. It's just like tongue twisted, okay?
Yeah, I thought you were going a different direction. Wait a minute, hold on.
No,
Okay.
I got tongue twisted, but it's actually a sport over there, right? So they actually train. It's actually legal, right? It's been banned from a lot of countries. There was actually some of that fighting going on in, I'll just say Central Florida, the Orlando area. You guys can look up the article. These people actually got arrested on Vic type of charges. Like, people will actually say this is really bad, when in my country it's perfectly normal. If you look at the history behind the cockfighting, it came from our Spaniard roots, because remember, we're mixed with 3 different cultures, which is Taino Indian, African roots, and as well as our Spaniard roots. Well, it originated from there, and people have since then, these people got serious felony charges, and I mean, it was really bad. When to us as Puerto Rican people, it's like, well, that's normal. That's what they do out there, you know? But I guess in that case, they liked the rooster, whatever it was, fighting better than they liked the Hispanic or the Rican man, because that's what would have been doing it, because they went to jail on some serious felony charges. I was like, wow, because I'll say it was relatively close to the Michael Vick situation. And I'm like, okay, I understand people make mistakes, and maybe animals, you know, they have feelings as well, because they really do. You know, it hurts the animal to, you know, to be bit, whatever. But sometimes it is just something within the culture. Some cultures eat animals. I don't see nobody complaining about that. And you guys know I truly love animals. I won't sit my animal to eat at the table with me, but I do have family, and I'm not going to say names because they may be listening, who sit that animal right at the table with them, and the animal means more than any of us in their household. And if we don't like it, we can get out. Okay, straight up. The animals are well mannered and everything, but they do sit down and eat at the table. So with that being said, it didn't ring right in. So I think there is many a times that yes, the animal is more, but I do value I'm with Leonard, and Leonard, you keep smiling and you're really distracting me. There's many times that yes, that is true. However, I do love my animals, and I do love animals. But my question, and everybody on the panel, with the exception, I don't think I got a reaction from Raheem, because he never answers. He just gets everybody's input, was rather that no, they wouldn't let a stranger in their house. A stranger could have been somebody from church that you just met. A stranger could have been a woman. A stranger could have been a teenager. A stranger could have been anybody that their parents gave you consent. Now, me, on the other hand, I would have the same love for a homeless person as I would for that animal. That was my question. And I'm not judging anybody. Your answers were all just fine. It was just a question that just to make you think. So majority of the people, to make the long story short, they would probably rather feed the animal, even if they're outside, than help that person.
Good deal. Good deal. And I want to go to Donald. Donald, you go to somebody's house, you go to a friend's house, you know, y'all are friends, and you never been to their house, nothing like that. Y'all usually meet out. And Donald, they invite you over for dinner. And you get there and you realize there's 2 or 3 animals in the house. And you cut your eye to the corner, to the kitchen area, and you see the cat run across the kitchen counter. Donald, what you gonna do?
I'm not gonna eat.
Donald said, I'm full.
I'm done. People have clean animals. I mean, they have some animals. They take very good care of. But if you walk across the kitchen table, I agree after you eat.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what.
But man, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I thought about this. Sometimes I wish I had a horse rather than a female.
Hey,
No.
What did you
hey,
say?
Tucson. When Tucson finish, I'll tell you why it's funny.
Mm-hmm. Donald, hold on now. Say that one more. Go again.
Let me just put it like this. If the horse acts up, you can just ride it into it. Nobody else say word.
Okay, Donald. Mute.
What?
Leonard, what's on your heart?
Leonard, what did he say? Can you translate, Leonard?
Oh my goodness.
He said he'd rather
Please
have.
translate.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you because I've been thinking it the whole time. And Tucson just happened to say it. But I've been thinking it the whole time. I was like, you can't take your kids out and just shoot them
Mm-hmm.
or put them to sleep. And it was so funny when he said what he said is because I was married before. And one of the issues was this dog I had. It was a huge Doberman. She was beautiful. And it was just me and her. But the dog didn't like the wife. And I got rid of the dog.
You sound like you regret that.
I kind of do. And it made me laugh because Tucson said it. And I said to myself, I'm not going to say it.
Oh my God.
It was just
everybody.
It was just so funny. I just wanted to laugh. You know, I just wanted to laugh about it.
Gotcha. Hold on one second. I want to say this to everybody. Leonard does have a filter. He wasn't gonna say that. Then here comes Donald. Open up and let that out.
It's
Anna,
just so funny. It's so funny.
Anna, what's on your heart? Sherry, coming to you next. Yes.
Now that was funny.
Oh man.
Have any of you guys had the pleasure of seeing my small little Samson, my baby?
Dog is a beast.
No, I saw the big old dog. You know how you got a small dog too?
That is my baby. He is the sweetest boy, and I dare anybody to come to my house.
That is a man eater.
Oh my goodness. And he loves me. I don't know what it is. He took this liking to me, and it gets annoying because I just found out something. I would wonder why everybody follows me to the bathroom. I'm like, what is up with all these animals following me to the bathroom? Well, it comes out that they protect I guess whoever the big person is. They protect you while you're going to the bathroom, and I'm like, what?
You're the pack leader.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be the pack leader. I'm just caring for you guys. I'm nurturing. I love you guys. I wish I could find you guys good homes. But yeah. But
Sherry,
my Samson is the sweetest boy. Huh?
Gary wants one of them.
What, a dog?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, hold on now. You say you don't want a dog, but you want a man.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You might be able to kill two birds with one stone.
Exactly. A dog. Well, y'all acting up this morning. Well, y'all Lord, my Jesus.
This is a funny show.
Betsy, what's on your heart right now? Curtis, come to you next.
Who, me?
Betsy. I think, did we lose her? I think we might have lost her. Go ahead, Sherry. What's on your heart?
I just want to say, I had wrote a comment down so I wouldn't forget it this time. But it's like when they was talking about black people taking theirs and everything, if we strategize the same way we strategize when we play cards, spades, and bid wins, we will be unstoppable. We can go take everything. We in the corner. We we get our game plan. We sitting up here if I blink once, that means I got the trucks. If I blink twice, that means I ain't got nothing. If I do like this, that means we gonna have to go straight in, no trunk, take it from the back and bring it to the right. That's what I say. That's the first thing I want to say. And then it's like the prison system is a new age slavery. And it's like since they can't lock us up legally, they want to. I mean, say they just can't keep us in the field picking cotton and everything. So they lock us up legally on some trumped up charges. And say we get a 10 years, but still in the some milk.
Hit her mute button.
That's what they doing to you. When you enslaved in your mind, that's because you think the white man gonna take everything and they gonna give you nothing. Elevate yourself, level up, 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 level up.
Okay, we're gonna mute Sherry line. Sherry.
I told you was gonna have to mute Sherry in the first place.
Lord, my Jesus. Curtis, what's on your
heart? It's time to level up, y'all.
Sherry. Curtis, what's on your heart?
Well, she right. It is time to level up. It's time to level up on every aspect, man. It's time to level up on every aspect. Like, you know what? I watched this. It wasn't a documentary. It was just like a little short thing about Tupac. And Pac was saying he was telling the interviewer, he was kind of breaking down Black society. And he was like, it's like the brother was, man, rebel or no, like him or hate him, he was a real revolutionary. The brother was like, it's like you got 1 million starving Black folk in the lobby of a hotel. You seen that interview, Ryan?
I never seen it.
He said, if you got 1 million starving Black folk in the lobby of a hotel, he said, and right next to where they standing at, right next to where all of them standing at, it's a big ballroom. And they all starving. And they get to see what's in the ballroom. The ballroom got all this food and this, that, and the third.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that. Yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, yo, these same Black folk will show up to the door and they'll knock. Politely and courteously and say, hey, we are hungry, let us in. We are hungry, let us in. He said, you slam a door in their face, they're going to come back. And they're going to knock again and be like, hey, look, we are hungry, let us in. We are hungry, let us in. He said, but by the time the third time, they knock and you open up the door, he put it in like a little rhyme, but he was saying, they're going to come in and they just going to storm it and take it. But the beauty of it all is that, look, we asking, we showing you that we can do A, B, C, and D. We've done A, B, C, and D. We showing you all these things, and you're still not willing to at least acknowledge the fact that we have done. That whole cockfighting thing, Anna was dead on point with that. And what's crazy is it never really was a problem until the brothers start getting a whole bunch of money off of it. And if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, right down in Pensacola, I'm talking about Roy Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It never became a problem until Roy started getting a lot of money, because Roy is known. One of his chickens, I think they say sold for $150,000 or $200,000, something like that. He's known to sell winning chickens. So all of a sudden, it became a problem, because now you can't really track this man money, because he was selling so many birds. Like, people was flying in from Saudi Arabia, from South America, from Canada, from Russia. People was flying in everywhere in the Pensacola to buy one of his birds.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Anna's clear on point. That's a standard. That's like normal. I don't know. It's like going to a prize fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's normal.
Let me do this right here. And if you're using the profanity in this thing, I'm gonna cut it off, y'all. But this is the clip Kurt was talking about right here.
Logical. If I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat. And they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over I mean, just like throwing food around. But they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song was going to change. We hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, you know, give me on the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting. You know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with that, you know, the civil rights movement. We was asking, you know, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're going to do?
Leonard, what do you say to that? And what are you next? And then we got another caller.
What do you mean? Say to it.
What's on your heart about what? Could you hear what Tupac was just saying?
Yeah, I heard him.
Yeah.
I've heard him before.
Is that no? I know you heard it before, Leonard. Where you been up on the rock? I know you heard it before. But my thing is this right here, though. What he said, is there any merit in what he said? We asking. Our ancestors asked. Now we picking the lock, coming in, blasting. We're gonna take, and that's pretty much what Sherry was talking about. Go in and take it. But I'm telling you that you're gonna go to jail. But go ahead.
That's completely different than what than what Sherry was saying.
Hell, you're gonna change the girl name, Leonard. Lord,
yeah, that's completely different than what Sherry was saying. And as much as I love Tupac, that was Tupac's opinion, and Tupac has a lot of points of view that I don't care for, despite that I love Tupac, his genius about things. But one, if you knock on my door and think that you got a right to insist to get in because I don't give you what you want, I'll kill you. So that goes two ways. That type of thinking goes both ways, and it's always going to be a negative for the person that is aggressive, being the aggressor, for the very simple fact no one has a right to take something from someone else because they don't have. That's rule number one. So to justify it is I'm not with that. I'm not with that. But one,
you didn't want to say take it by force a few minutes ago.
No, that's why I just told you what Sherry said was different. Sherry didn't say nothing about breaking the law. Sherry didn't say nothing about that. Sherry said, one, taking responsibility for yourself and going and get what is available, what is out there, the opportunities and the resources. That has nothing to do with what Tupac was talking about.
My thing is this right here. I'm going to go to jail. But my thing is right here. You never get a second chance to pull the first gun. Think about that for a second. Gerald, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say about what Tupac was saying?
Well, you know, there's an organized way to do things, and there's a uncivilized way of doing things. You know, because of the environment that Tupac grew up in, he's saying it according to how, you know, I guess, you know, the thugs would do it, because they may not have the same mindset that we have, you know, on how we would do it. We got to understand that a lot of the police officers and a lot of the judges, a lot of the people who are in the criminal justice system, they have a brotherhood, and that brotherhood is to keep us out. But there's a way to fight that. The black and the brown has to be the change that we want to see. You know how much money we spend on liquor, how much money we spend on weed, how much money we spend on shoes and all of that. If we could take some of that money and come to the realization and use that money to get our own grocery stores, our own hospitals, our own land, our own clinics, we can do it because we got the resources to do it. We got enough rich black people to do it. Even if it takes us poor black people to put our nickels and dimes together and do it, because no one is going to be oppressed forever. Nothing lasts forever. So the rise is going to happen. But once we realize that we got to be the change that we want to see, the government ain't going to change it for us. The politicians ain't going to change it for us. We in the community got to realize where all of the stuff that we've been begging and asking for, we can actually get it ourselves once we come to that realization and be the change that we want to see ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Glow. This is Elton. How you all doing this morning?
Hey, doing well. Good
morning.
We're asking the question, does America love animals more than they love the black and the brown man? What do you say to that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't gonna call in today when I saw the topic. I don't have a whole lot to say about that, but I've been riding my car today in the city of Atlanta, and it just strikes me as weird, and it's going to sound I'm going off path, but I'm not. I think if coronavirus was killing animals and dropping them dead the minute they stepped out their house, you had PETA, ASPCA, and everybody else jump through hoops to get ventilators, masks for the dogs, and everything. But now we got one of the last states to close their doors due to the virus. Now being one of the first states to open them. In other words, we've been closed almost less time than any other state. And in the process, we have a mayor of Atlanta being threatened with racial slurs about let Governor Kemp go ahead and open up this state. And my thing is, I know for a fact, I've seen how, and I'm not saying America loves animals more than the black man, but I've seen some people who love animals more than they love people, period, whether it be red, black, brown, or yellow, it don't matter. And I think it's an inordinate affection. It just bothers me because it's like, you know, they make a law for you to put a seatbelt on in your car, but your dog can jump around, your cat can jump around off the car and act crazy. Well, that dog can't go through that windshield in the car after this. You don't make that a law. You don't give the dog a ticket. You don't give the owner of the dog a ticket. I just think we need to check our affection sometimes and make sure that we put the human race first. Not a color, but the human race as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Good deal, good deal. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Bishop. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop.
We're asking the question, does America love animals more than they love the black and the brown man? Bishop, what do you say to that?
In some respect, I believe they do. In the area in which I live in DeKalb County, we put a $12 million facility for an animal shelter, but we don't have a shelter for the human being. So it appears to me that people care more so for the animal as opposed to being for the human.
Wow, that's deep there. Anna, what's on your heart? $12 million for animal shelter, but nothing for the homeless.
But see, and that's where we're the people. You see what I'm saying? We, the people, need to get together. I know Sherry said that, and it sounded funny or whatever. I won't do nothing illegal for nobody. So y'all can sit there doing your 40 years by yourself. But sticking together, and I know what she meant, but sticking together, we can make these changes happen. Why not, everybody put, and I always say stuff like this, put money in the pot and make something like this. We can make it happen for people. I've met people who have tried to do these things and did not find the funding within our own community, within our own people. And when I say that, I mean brown and black. Why can't you donate to them? Why? Because you feel that they're going to use the money elsewhere, because you don't trust their cause. These people are adamant about what they want to do. So why can't we do the same for each other? We're humans. You see what I'm saying? So we can do the same. They just choose not to. I've had somebody come to me with a plan. I made a donation and no one helped. You see what I'm saying? So there's people out there that have a passion and want to do this. Now, my question is, who else is going to help? Like Raheen, if somebody comes to you and they say, look, Raheen, this is my plan. This is my budget. This is what I'm trying to do. Are you willing to donate? Same to Leonard, same to Sherry, same to Pastor L, same to Curtis. I know Kurt likes to help out a lot, and we hear him all the time on the phone, but just anybody, Bishop, everybody. Are you guys willing to donate that maybe that 12 million that was donated towards those animals and grants or whatever it was? Are you guys willing to help these people get the same type of help who are human beings and deserve a chance? Because the truth be told, a lot of people that maybe are out on the street and homeless, they have mental issues. Are you willing to donate that time and maybe find those doctors that can maybe give them some type of therapy at a lower rate, or pro bono or whatever bono? Are you willing to do that and do these things? Because that's the problem. I think these people actually have such a passion that they will pay, but meanwhile, you got people like us that won't.
Sherry, what's on your heart? Then I'll come to you next.
Well, actually, that's what I went to school for, and I believe me and Anna had a discussion about it. Then she had to jump off the phone for a minute, and because she was trying to get ready for her show. But I went to school for nonprofit when I finished in March, so I do want to help people. And I was talking to her that I ultimately would like to get a facility where I can try to because I love to cook, so I can feed them and also give them resources and help them get back on their feet. I drive that coming off of what is it, the 75, 85 interstate going to 20, going east, going home. It's a little corner over there in between. You know how the fork is split? Do you go west and you go east on 20? There's a whole bunch of tents set there, and there's people living there in that little section right there, tents and stuff, and it bothers me to see that. And it's so many people that have millions and millions of dollars. I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe what 3 or 4 rich folks, celebrities can come together, put a few dollars together, and we can help this. But I just feel like I'm not trying to say that their cause or what they feel is important to donate to. But I'm just saying that can we start some businesses and get more business or whatever and help get people employed, get them off the street? Why are we in the richest country in the world and we got so many people that's homeless? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
They can't afford adequate health care. People are greedy.
Leonard, is it because of the lack of caring? Is it because of the lack of caring that they can have a $12 million facility for the animals and nothing for the homeless? Is it because of a lack of caring, or what do you think it is, Leonard?
I read the story, but it's a different agenda. There are the people, the same people that built the facility, they probably donate to other projects that help human beings out as well. But I think because, we're always say, well, why don't they do this or do this? Why don't you do it? It ain't nobody else's job to come up with great ideas that you think are great.
Why don't we do it?
Yeah, you can do it yourself. I know a lot of people that do it, that have homes for transition and things like that. I know some people, they were rooming houses and boarding houses and places of transition, like the YMCA used to be. When men came out of prison, you used to go stay at the YMCA. That's where we lived at anyway.
Yeah.
So, there are places of transition, but what we have to realize is that people voted on that. That's how you know the type of people that you have in that area sitting in power. Because I'm pretty sure everybody had the opportunity to propose building a facility for the homeless prior to this.
Good deal.
Donald, so if that county wanted that, they should elect.
Happen. Absolutely. Right. Donald, what's on your heart?
I gotta watch what I say. But let me ask a question. When did America become the richest country in the world? When we in debt to everybody, and we print our own money we have. Anyway, go out if you want, and just try this. Go kick your own dog and see what happens. Your dog, I don't care if you pay $2 or $200 for your dog, and let your neighbors see you kick your dog and see what happened to you.
And even in the military, for instance, your dog is a rank higher than you. You can wind up in jail, in military prison, if your dog leads you one way and you go the other.
Huh? Man, you don't lost your mind, Leonard. Man.
Wait a minute. Repeat that.
Yeah, Leonard.
If you in the military, your dog is almost equivalent to one rank higher than you. Because the dog may make a decision that you have to follow. If your dog key on drugs and you ignore it, you at fault for that. If your dog say that the assailant is in the closet and you pass by and the dog keyed on the closet, you at fault for that. See, so we have to, realize, like, when I brought that up because of this law regarding shooting animals, law enforcement shooting animals, and things like that. You have to understand there is a whole agenda to almost equalize the rights of animals with people. There are people right now that would jump on board and support marrying animals. There are people sleeping with animals.
Oh my.
What they call it? Bestiology, what they call it?
So if you get enough crazy people together and then elect them, they'll do crazy stuff like build a $12 million facility for animals. Not that I have a problem with the facility, but was anyone else there proposing a facility for homeless people prior to that?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Anna, you said Gerald had something he wanted to say, had a comment?
Yeah. Hang on. I just put it up. Hang on. So he told me to tell you guys, thank you. I have to go now, but I really enjoyed the show. Tell the team I'd love to collab again on this topic or something else. Looking forward to our show because I'm having him as a guest very soon on my show. So I thought he was very knowledgeable in history, and I really enjoyed his time there. So Gerald, if you're listening still, thank you. Thank you for calling in, and we hope that you do call back in.
Absolutely. Elgin, what's on your heart?
Just so we have a country that's talking about America that's rooted out of the 3/5 compromise they had when five and Leonard historians, I hope now make sure I don't chop this up, but for every 5 black men or black people, they only counted 3. We were counted as less than from the inception of this thing. And I don't think that mentality's changed with a lot of people. And people still look at us as less than. I think some people are comfortable in America with the gross population of prison citizens or the penal system being black men locked up in cages, whether it be a misdemeanor or a felony. And I'm not saying people don't deserve to go to jail, but what I am saying is I think there's a certain group of people out there, some of them are police officers, who think we belong in jail anyways when they see us. This is when we have the whole movement about Black Lives Matter. You shoot at us because you think we are animals. And so I think that's where some of the mindset comes from. Those are some of the things that really bother me. But the only thing you can do is re-educate, man, and pray that some old demon people just die off. But we gotta at the same time, we gotta teach people the truth to show who America is and who the black male or mankind is.
Good deal. Good deal. Everybody mute your line if you're not talking. I got a little background noise coming through. Bishop, what's on your heart?
Just thinking about what the conversation, the topic of the conversation. I was sitting there looking at a commercial, and they want us to send money to help save the lives of polar bears. And I'm thinking to myself, they don't have commercials saying let's help the homeless. Let's do something for them. Let's send 60 cents a day. That's almost 60 cents a day to help get this man or woman off the street into a place that they can live. But they're doing it for animals. They're showing animals in cages. And yeah, granted, they may show a couple of African children who seem to be starving. I know for a fact, I'm saying, I believe they can testify to this. We've sent relief. They got the food in warehouses. They're rationing the food out. They're charging the people to get the food they need. Send it there for them to eat. And all they want to do is get our money and get rich and forget about the people, which is what is being done today. They forget about the laws. They forget about the less. It's our responsibility to do the various things that we need to do for the people. And as it relates, when it comes down to it, I want different. They're not shooting blacks like animals, because they ain't shooting animals. They just shooting us because we black and we're less than animals, if that's the way it looks. Well, that's the way it looks to me. But you and I, we agree in some of the different areas that the reality is, it is what it is. Same thing with Leonard said. But it's not the people that go and vote for these shelters. You got people that come and complain to their elected officials. Well, what are we going to do about the animals? And then we're listening to their cry. Well, why don't we go and rally before our elected officials and say, hey, what are we going to do about the homeless population? A lot of veterans are out there. So this is a great topic and something that we should not take lightly. We should take it under great consideration that we can come together as people and try to provide something for those who are less fortunate.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Sherry, what's on your heart?
Yeah, he said something about a polar bear commercial. I missed that one. But yeah, it's a lot of commercials on here that it tells us to send money for this and send for animals and everything. Like he said, it's like where are the commercials to help people. People get back into society who could actually pour into society, who can add to society, who pay taxes. And they say all the job market, they says a lot of jobs out there are not being filled because people are not educated in that area. Okay, well, how about we get them and we educate them in that particular area and get those jobs filled?
Mm-hmm.
So they said it's the unemployment rate is low, but how is that when it still see people unemployed? Now it's bigger now because of what's going on, but before then, they said it was a lot of jobs, especially in other states. The job source, how many jobs they had was really high because they didn't have the people to fill it. And it's like, okay, offer them incentive to pack up and move their family, train them. Some people, if you train them, they're fast learners. I mean, it's certain things I don't know, but I'm a fast learner. If it's something I want to do, I'm gonna get it done. The proof is in the pudding. I went back to school to get my another master's because I wanted to do better. There are people out here that want to do better. Give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a chance, but people don't want to give them a chance. It's like the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. It's like it's almost like in the United States, we have to have unemployment. We have to have people that are homeless. We have to have, but we shouldn't. Why? Why? I don't get that. It's people that's in the office. It's people who have more money than their 10 generations later can spend. They sitting on billions of dollars and steady making money, and you can't start something, get a shelter and help people.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your heart for your brothers?
Exactly. Anna, what's on your heart? Anna?
Okay, sorry, everybody likes to call while I'm on air. I don't know why. But she had a very good point, and all of you guys have had valid points. But one thing that came to mind, because I always pray and I always get these creative ideas. A lot of them I don't talk about because people think I'm crazy. But, us as a panel, especially the ones that start calling here, why don't we get something started? Everybody put in some money and make all of your dreams come true. And at the same time, help the community and help people out there. And I'm not just saying this like I'm not comparing no Black Wall Street. I'm not comparing any Wall Street. I'm not comparing Latino this. I'm not comparing any color. All I'm saying is let's do what we have to do to grow as a culture. I'm sorry?
Collectively. Mm-hmm.
Collectively, there you go. Mm-hmm. And make all of this happen, because there shouldn't be any reason why there's homeless people. There shouldn't be any reason why people can't get mental health. There shouldn't be any reason of so many things. So why don't we start us and then come back and say, you know what, we did it and we can show you how we did it, mm-hmm. and move on from there.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Donald, what do you say to that?
Yeah, because if anybody ever think or consider the word never, maybe, truth, there's some things that we never get through our head that we're not a part. If we settle that and start functioning accordingly, I don't have nothing to do. I'm not really I don't consider myself to be, and I'm born and raised here, American and all. I don't function like that. I don't try to include myself. I don't care nothing about the stimulus package. I don't care nothing about what's going on here, because I'm not part of the system. Mm-hmm. Why should I try to include myself in something there that will include me in? So I just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
So do they treat animals better than they treat me? If I allow them to, sure. Mm-hmm. What you say?
Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart? I see you smiling over there, brother.
listening to what I was just listening to what Toussaint was saying, and it makes so much sense because usually that's my point of view, and that has caused me issues as well in the work that I do for people and things like that, because I've always volunteered to help people and things like that, which gives me a different point of view of a situation. I try to solve problems. I don't just talk about how bad things are or what have you, or things like that. It's a lot of work to do. And one, I respect people's opinions and what they choose in life. So I don't have the same point of view as a lot of people will have. If you choose to do less, I'm even on board with that if that's what you choose. But for the people that want help, I will help all day.
Yeah.
As an activist, there are two arguments that I usually don't get involved in personally. And one has to do with income inequalities and anything that is subjective. I am anti-racism and anti-injustice everywhere for all people all the time.
That's good.
So that's what I'm about. Now, other things to me lie outside of that sometimes. And even when you start to help this population of people, you're going to learn a lot of different things. You're going to learn that there are people out there with mental illness. You're going to learn there are people out there that do not want your help or your opinion. They are human beings just like everyone else. And until you know their story, don't make one up for them. Because one, you have to give people their dignity. You can't take that away from them. And that's usually where the struggle starts to happen. You know, instead of asking a person, do they want to live somewhere else? You just assume that they want to. I know some people would rather just hang out in the park. It's easier. It's easier. Less stress. You know, they like to be out in the air with people.
Mr. Window.
You know, then you got some people out there that they were doing drugs one day, and now they just ain't got no house. The family gone, and they just wandering around.
Harry Hippie.
Yeah, so you know, we have to all. Yeah, you may have these great ideas or what have you, but we always say, why don't we get together? People have always gotten together and done for people. That's why we have a lot of the foundations and organizations that we have now, because that's what they're doing. Is the problem is just so large.
Good deal. Good deal. Elgin, what's on your mind? Elgin, you there? Okay. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Unmute your phone, Kurt. Unmute your phone, brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I heard
I
you.
got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know, the experiment will go on long after we gone. Me personally, I think that we have hit a point in our modern society where we need to make some adjustments to the experiment. I think what we're saying is, if we were, for example, if we were chemists and we were trying to come up with a chemical compound that would extinguish COVID-19, for example, and we've been putting these compounds together, and one has blown up, and one has disintegrated, one has become extremely weak. You make adjustments to your chemical experiment. You know not to put that chemical with this chemical anymore, because if you do, it creates a bomb. So I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that the American experiment, now is the time for us to tweak it. I mean, when you think in terms of racism, and classism, every commission that has been established to study the American society and culture has all come back with the same answer. The Kerner Commission in 1967, 1968, told America exactly what was the problem in America. Mr. Brzezinski, the late great Brzezinski, told the American government what at one point he had in his mind that the biggest threat to America during the civil rights movement was the coming together of African nations with the African American Negro in America. And he said that that would be the biggest threat because the African nations could then funnel money into the segregation movement, you know what I mean, the desegregation movement and the civil rights movement, and it might not be good for the American economy.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout history, we have seen this experiment be tweaked and tweaked and tweaked and tweaked, but never tweaked to the advantage of the people who need the tweaking the most. It's always been tweaked with the idea of providing a particular group of people more power, more privilege, and more positive circumstances. So, I mean, I hear what everybody said, and everybody is dead on point with their views. You know what I mean? I'm invigorated because it shows me that even within our own culture, we are not so horse-collared. Our diversity is really starting to take its own shape. So I'm just honored and I'm privileged to even just be a part of a friendship that I think will stand the test of time,
mm-hmm.
And will last forever. So, but once again, when I look at where we are as a people and as a society, I believe that it's time for us to tweak the experiment. It's time to go back to the lab and just take some things for true. Oh, this is not going to work. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Good deal. Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Good deal. Good deal. Bishop, what's on your heart?
I'm just loving the meetings of the mind. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
What we do, pay attention, and I don't think we're at a point of saying we're going to do this today and do this tomorrow, but there needs to be a call for action, and we do need to focus on what needs to be. I make mention myself. I was the deputy director of Project 360, which was a homeless program. And we reached out to the federal government on several occasions to get grants. Same thing with VA, which offered $400 million to help the homeless population, particularly the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And, they told us, well, what do you have in order for us to be able to give you this? Well, we have a place, we have a facility that we can house the people. We didn't get it.
Mm.
And to me, they will find every excuse not to give you what you need to move forward to help those that are less fortunate. And if you're not part of the system that's able to facilitate some of that magnitude, then we're not going to get our help.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody's familiar with Pine Street Shelter, downtown Atlanta, they closed that shelter. They took it, and I think they made an eminent domain. Now, Emory University Hospital has bought that facility, that building where the homeless men and women stay. And my understanding, they're not going to take care of the homeless. That's building another facility that would allow them to make profit.
Yeah.
And this is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we go. There's no love for humanity anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the animals, or about profit to them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a sad place to be. That's a very sad place to be. Y'all know I know Anna and Leonard have some engagement this morning, so we're gonna shut it down just a little bit early today, in just a couple of minutes. But I want to go to Anna and I want to go to Leonard, find out what's on their heart. Then we're gonna close it out and get on out of here.
I had another point. I was writing it down and I sent you a message.
You did?
Yes,
okay.
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say, just leave this with a thought for somebody. I used to work in Rockdale County as a substitute school teacher, and I felt like I got too comfortable in my situation. I had a lot of people I was involved in, and I felt like home. But I just want to say God has a way when we get too comfortable of agitating, shaking things up, because especially when he puts you on this earth for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like for me, myself, he took me and he shook things up. I lost my job and I cried. And I love the people and everything. And then I went into a spiral of depression because I was like, why did this happen? Why did these people lie on me? But that was God telling me, I put you here for a reason. You're more than this.
Mm-hmm.
You more than this. And people need to understand that. Get out of your mind and saying the white man this and that and other. Get past the thing that we are less than dogs. You have to make sure your sunrise, that's dashing between your sunrise and your sunset, means something, and your living is not in vain.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Anna, what's on your heart? Quickly, we're gonna get on out of here, and then we're gonna go to Leonard.
So makes sense what she's saying, but something that I do want the listening audience around the world to also keep in mind. It's not at all easy for anybody to take in when you have your child, your husband, or whatever being killed by law enforcement. It's no joke. You know, and Leonard made a good point that if you don't do what that dog tells you to do in the military, you're going to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
These have been people that have said, I don't have a weapon on me, whatever the case might be. They were defending, or I have a weapon. I'm licensed to have a weapon. We all know the stories. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, the moral to me, the moral of the story is love one another. Love that human the same way as you would love your own, and including that animal. If you love those animals that much, and that's fine. But love that human, because to me, there's nothing sadder than looking at somebody get shot and killed in front of their fiance or wife, whatever she was, and their child in the back seat. Okay. And when they did nothing. It is nothing sadder than to see a teenager who just had some Skittles in their hand to get killed because somebody chose to. Somebody who was half Hispanic, half white, because they have mental issues. So with that being said,
and I'm trying to get y'all out of here.
With that being said, just think about that, you guys, and have a wonderful afternoon. I know I gotta go. You're right. It's deep in my heart, though. I don't like it.
What, Leonard? Leonard, shut the doggone camera down. Lord, my Jesus. Leonard said, I gotta go. Say, Anna talking too long. So, you know, ran Leonard off. Lord, how about trying to get Leonard off? Sherry, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
At 3 o'clock today, if you have not seen this show and it's entirety, you can watch it on DKNRadio.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Hey, Donald, pray us out, brother. Toussaint. All of a sudden, Donald ain't gonna answer his line. Donald, you know you're there. I see you there, man. I see you over there. Donald, I see you over there. Get over up on that desk.
We need some prayer. We need some prayer after this conversation.
Bishop, pray us out, Bishop.
All right, Father, in your name, Lord Jesus, come before you this present hour. Thank you, Lord God, for another broadcast of DKM Radio. Raheem and his great guest and host of speakers, Lord God. We pray that those who are listening take heed to the things that we're speaking of, Lord God, and that cultivate and motivate them to help in areas that they normally don't. Yes, Father God, if you will continue to bless DKM Radio and those who are affiliated with it, and watch all those who are going through this coronavirus situation. Bless those who have lost loved ones. Lord God, comfort their hearts and minds, Lord, and strengthen us. And allow our leaders, Lord God, to lead in the manner that we're willing to follow. Rest this to be your will, in your name, Christ Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
We are about to get out of here today. It is now 8:59. 8:59. You're about to exit. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day, and a better tomorrow. And we're about to get out of here for today, but y'all make sure y'all stay locked in. We got a lot of great programming going on today. We got from 6:30 until 8, we got our spiritual talk with Minister Neil, and from 8 to 9 we have the Daily Bread with Joaquin. So make sure you continue to join us. Make sure you stay here with us. We're looking forward to having each and every one of you. Have a great day. Love you and love each other.